Welcome to Eastern Staffing and Recruiting. You will be working at Johnson Outdoors Gear, home of Eureka and Jetboil. Throughout this orientation, you will learn more about their brands, what they do, and their policies and procedures. Please write any questions down, and a recruiter will go over them with you after this orientation. Johnson Outdoor Gear, a division of Johnson Outdoors Incorporated, has been in its Conklin Ave facility since 1895, 122 years. One of the most commonly known brands produced there is Eureka. Born in Binghamton in the 19th century, Eureka started out making Conestoga wagon covers, manufactured wall camping tents through World Wars I and II, and made trailer awnings during the baby boom. Here at Eastern Staffing and Recruiting, we staff for two of Johnson Outdoors brands, Jetboil and Eureka. The Conklin branch of Johnson Outdoor Gear focuses on manufacturing and selling of camping-related products, military tents and accessories, and outdoor event tents. Johnson Outdoors Gear employs 80 to 100 people, depending on the time of year, and produces several hundred military tents and thousands of event tents and accessories annually, most of which are produced here in Broome County. The Eureka facility is located on 625 Conklin Road, Conklin, New York, a quarter mile over the bridge from Binghamton into Conklin. The Jetboil facility is located at 311 Industrial Park Drive, Kirkwood, New York. Go through the gate and our door is located on the left, door 13A. Now, let's take a look at what they do. You may be performing numerous tasks such as stitching, material handling, K-bar operating, or taping. With all positions, machine guarding rules are extremely important to abide by. We will review all these rules further into the presentation. Stitchers are operating a single or double needle industrial sewing machine to stitch pieces of material together to make a variety of tents and flies. Material handlers position material to assist sewing machine and K-bar operators by physically pulling the tent or material into place. K-bar operators operate a radio frequency heat sealing machine to seal together pieces of vinyl tent materials according to the diagram, and gather and unload material pieces as needed to set up the area. Another one of your duties may be taping. The machine is on the table, where you will have to be up and down all day in order to bring fabric to tape. You must run the tape in a straight line in order to cover the stitches. Johnson Outdoors takes safety very seriously. Make sure you understand all the do's and don'ts of machine operating before you operate any machines. Injuries from working on machines without proper guards in place can have serious, even life-changing consequences. Follow these important do's and don'ts to stay safe while operating machines. Do: inspect any machine to which you are assigned before operating it. Operate machines only when guards are functional, in place, and properly adjusted. Notify your supervisor immediately if a machine guard is missing or damaged. Stop working immediately if your machine guard breaks or becomes damaged, and notify your supervisor immediately. Don't operate a machine with a missing or damaged guard, period. Don't remove, tamper with, damage, or try to bypass any machine guard. Don't reach around, under, over, or through machine guards. Don't ever operate any machine marked out of service. Maintenance will inform the supervisors when a machine is repaired and may go back into service. Don't operate machinery unless you have been trained and authorized to do so. Employees failing to follow Johnson Outdoors Gear's machine guarding policy will be subject to disciplinary actions. Listed here are all of Johnson Outdoors' policies and procedures that will be explained individually. Johnson Outdoors' work hours are as follows. Employees are required to be in their work area ready to begin work at 7 a.m. Break times. You will have two 10-minute breaks. These breaks will run between 9:45 a.m. and 9:55 a.m. and 2:45 p.m. and 2:55 p.m. You will hear a buzzer that will go off at the start and end of each break. Make sure you return directly to your work area when you hear the buzzer at the end of your break. Lunch times. Your lunch will be from 12 to 12:30 p.m. That will also have a buzzer to notify you when to go to and to return from lunch. If you decide to leave the Johnson Outdoors Gear premises for lunch, then you must clock out and clock back in when you return. Stop times. 5 minutes before your shift ends, you will need to clean your work area and keep it organized for the next day. Make sure all machines are turned off before you leave. You should hear a final buzzer at the end of your shift in which you should leave the work area to clock out. You should not be lining up at the clocks or in the work area prior to hearing the buzzer. Johnson Outdoors operating hours are as follows: Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. There will also be opportunities for overtime on Fridays until 12 p.m. if requested by your supervisor. The employee call-in number is listed here, 607-217-2795. Please use this number to call in if you are going to be late or cannot make it into work, as well as notifying Eastern staffing and recruiting. The cell phone policy is simple. Do not use them while at work. They must be turned off while you are at work and can only be used during lunch and breaks. This same rule applies for texting, FaceTime, or any type of cell phone use. If there is an emergency and you feel that it is necessary to use your phone during your shift, you must inform your supervisor at the beginning of your shift. Please do not ask to use the company's phones because they are not intended for personal use. At Johnson Outdoors, they allow their employees to listen to music while at work to create a more enjoyable atmosphere. However, this is a privilege, and music being played should be non-offensive and the volume should be at a reasonable level so that the operator can still hear. You are not allowed to listen to music with headphones or earbuds while in the work area. Such devices are only permitted for breaks and lunch located in the cafeteria or outside. Please remember, this is a privilege, not a right, and so supervisors are permitted to refrain music at their own discretion. Presentation is important at Johnson Outdoors and is a guideline that has been made for your own safety and protection. They require that all clothing not be loose, flowing, or ragged, and that you wear no jewelry because it could get caught in the moving equipment. Your clothes should not distract other workers. Logos, sayings, or anything that can be perceived as offensive will not be allowed. Your clothing must cover body parts and undergarments fully. Your shoes must be closed-toed and closed heels, must be sturdy, and are required to be non-slip treads. For example, please do not show up to work in flip-flops, Crocs, ballet flats, clogs, etc. There will also be areas where you will be required to wear safety shoes. Compliance to these rules are mandatory. Supervisors and management have the right to require inappropriate clothing to be changed or covered up. Do not come to work under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or any controlled substances. You will not use, distribute, manufacture, or traffic these in any amount or manner on our premises, whether you are engaged in the business or not. If you were to abuse this in any way, it may result in corrective action up to and including termination of employment. Smoking is also strictly prohibited in all buildings and restrooms. There is, however, a designated smoking area located off the parking lot outside the cutting room entrance. All tobacco products must be properly disposed in the receptacles provided. Any chewing tobacco waste must be placed in sealed containers. If you discard cigarette butts in the parking lot or yard, this will be considered littering and is not allowed. Smoking at any and all entrances is prohibited. You will be required to help keep a clean environment at Johnson Outdoors. Workstations will be cleaned and organized 5 minutes before the end of each shift or from the warning buzzer. You must vacuum or sweep the work areas as needed in order to maintain a safe and clean workplace. Waste baskets should be emptied into larger waste baskets in the production area. Do not leave food waste in the work area or bathrooms. All food waste should and must be placed in the cafeteria. The following are strictly prohibited in the workplace: profane language, this includes swearing and may not be used on the production floor; derogatory comments or jokes involving gender, race, age, religion, national origin, disability, or similar factors; rudeness or discourtesy to a coworker, lead, or supervisor; physical and/or verbal violence, threats, intimidation, or harassment of another employee, client, or other person doing business with Eastern Staffing and Recruiting, including but not limited to racial or sexual harassment. We want everyone to be safe while working at Johnson Outdoors, and in order to do so, you must follow the safety guidelines. Protective eyewear is required in all production areas and must always be worn except for lunches and breaks. You should, however, have your eyewear on when walking through areas where production is in operation. Make sure your eyewear is fully covering your eyes. Your personal protective equipment must be used in designated areas or when you are performing tasks that may require this equipment. You may not operate machines without guards in place. You should always report when something out of the ordinary has happened to the machine guards to your supervisor or management immediately. When you are getting up and down from tables, you must use the stairs or steps. Do not jump between tables or from the table to the floors. Throwing and running are also not allowed. And please remember the dress code. If you are not trained or unsure of the safety features of machinery, then ask your supervisor before you attempt to operate anything. Stretching before and during work is a proven ergonomic strategy to help prevent soft tissue injuries. Johnson Outdoors Gear has worked with United Health Services to provide recommended stretches for the production jobs. Take a few minutes before the start of your shift to do these stretches and warm up. Do the same thing after lunch. Employees are sometimes required to walk on tables in the production lines to move the material. Following these rules is required for your safety. Always use the stairs to get on and off the tables. Never jump, step, or scoot down from the table. Never jump between production tables. Be cautious when backing up. Keep away from the edges of the table. Material that may fall on the tables needs to be cleaned up immediately. Many types of threads and web are the same color as the work areas, so please pay very close attention. If you come across a slip or trip hazard on the floor, take a moment to pick it up and properly dispose of it. Walking across a pallet is forbidden, as well as leaning a pallet on its edge. The Lockout-Tagout program has been established to control hazardous energy and to prevent injuries that may occur by the unexpected startup of equipment or release of stored energy. All machines requiring service are turned off and locked out to prevent unintended operation. K-bars will have padlocks installed. Breakers have a lock over the breaker. Locked-out machines will be tagged to alert employees that they may not be used. Only authorized personnel may service locked or tagged-out equipment. Good luck with your new position at Johnson Outdoors. We hope you love it.